Hi guys, welcome back to another video on the horse racing portal and welcome to all of the guys who are trying out the free trial this week. So just going to talk about a few things today. It was Bank Holiday Monday yesterday, obviously a very busy day. It wouldn't have been the right day to get involved, and we always say we err on the side of caution for bank holidays and for big festivals and Saturdays, so bear that in mind when you are betting, that these can skew the money and not give a true representation of smart money, as in, an evening meeting at Wolverhampton or a course at Hamilton in Scotland during the week. So with the big money racing, like Royal Ascot, Ebor, there's a lot of weekend punters that are throwing the money in the market willy-nilly, which somewhat paints a different picture of where the money's going. However, it is still possible to spot them, but you've got Group 1 races and everything, and there's really hot favourites, so it's not the best thing to trade. In fact, the Ebor last weekend, I didn't bother, just focused on the others. So anyway, let's get started. What we're going to look at today is a couple of examples I recorded yesterday to show you what else the portal can do, having watched the videos that you've watched already. This is part 4. If you haven't watched those, go to part 1 and follow from there until you get back here. So let's open up the portal today. It's Tuesday, 26th of August, and our race card looks a bit like this. It's a very light looking card. Now, as I might have explained in the previous videos, we have some certain filters, or I like to adopt, and other people do slightly different filters. My filters are going to be no subtype racing, which is maidens, novices and so forth. However, they are not discounted. They are just discounted from the zone betting. So I'm only going to be looking for zone betting in handicaps. So the way to filter those out is to come up to race card summary, and you're just going to go no subtypes. And I do have a restriction on runners, a minimum of 6, a maximum of 12, and we're not doing Ireland. So we're just going to apply those filters, and that's given me a list of the zone betting that I'm going to do today. Now, for me, when I do zone betting, anything over a mile, I'm not going to bet zone 1. I only bet zone 1 in the sprints up to 1 mile. Anything over that, I'll be looking at zone 2 and zone 3 for betting only. And also, with the zone 1, I need a minimum odds of 3.0. Now, that doesn't mean you have to stick to that. Over time, you will kind of come to your own conclusions and see things in racing, think, well, I'm going to go at 2.0 for the favourite. That's entirely up to you. I'm just giving you a heads up and guidelines as to what I think and what we talk about in chat as well. Jack has certain filters, Pete does certain filters, I do different ones. So you'll find your own place with those. So here you go, quite a short list today for the zones. Now, when I said we weren't going to completely ignore maidens, novices, etc., we are going to actually ignore any jumps for this purposes of this video. Now, I know I've been having a bit of luck over the summer jumps, but I think as a beginner you just want to concentrate on one surface, call it the flat. Obviously it's flat season, so it's more races. Now, so let's call up an example from last night. I snapshotted a few. Okay, so let's look at an example of when the alert C1.1 appears twice in a race. I don't filter this out from novices and maidens. They are game on for me if the conditions are right. So again, I don't filter out when I'm looking at this double portal alert. So what I've been doing is, and it's not set in stone yet, but it seems to be, from observations, doing pretty well. I've only just started keeping records of it, and it's currently in profit. So this is the C1.1 Dutch portal. And when this appears, you'll see 2 C1.1s appear in pink here. That sends a trigger to you to go, okay, let's investigate this for a Dutch bet. In this example, we want to be looking at the top 4 horses, possibly 5, and I'll come to that. So I've looked at this race here, and I've decided that it's a no bet for me under the rules that I have, which is I need to see red in 2 of the top 4. Might be 1 block, 2 blocks, or all red. Here we have 3 blocks of green, which says to me the market supports the top 3 in the market, and so therefore I'm not comfortable Dutching these 2. Now Gordon Gray did go on and win, to be fair, but it's just a rule that at the moment I use, that if I see 3 supported horses out the 4 and there's a Dutch, I'm not going to do it. So let's just move on to the next one. Alrighty, so we come to an example now of when I would bet a Dutch bet in the market. We're looking at the top 4 here, and you can see the alerts up there. So you'd be looking to Dutch Connie's Rose and Notre Maison in this race, because we've got plenty of non-activity in the betting down here, especially with the outsiders as well. It's and you know what, this actually didn't win, but because it's a strategy, you just do it. This is, for me, a good signal. In the end, Overspice came home with Safi on board, and it was a loser. But you know, we're talking percentage ratios here of like, you know, usually when we're Dutching, we're maybe getting anything between half a point up to 2 points profit. And when we stake, it's always 1% of my bankroll for these. Whatever my bankroll is, it's 1%, and I Dutch it. Now, Dutching, I would recommend using a Dutch calculator rather than the Betfair console from a website, topendsports.com, rather than use the Betfair Dutcher, which is simply by putting stake and then say £10. Yeah, I mean, it's done it there. I mean, it seems to be okay, but the trouble is you can get quick price movements when you're Dutching, and you have to adjust, and then you're kind of going up and down here, 5.8, 5.7, it gets a bit skewed. But if you use a Dutching calculator, you know exactly your stakes, pop them in individually, and then as soon as they're on, bang. Because when you're doing 2 at the same time, sometimes something moves out, moves in. So I just prefer them to do them 1 at a time. But you can use a Betfair stake calculator. It's probably quicker, but I just prefer to do it this way, individual. So going back to this C1.1, I'm just going to call up a message from chat yesterday. And here we can see one that won, and it's very, very comfortable Dutch, this for me. Nothing in the market's attracting interest. There's just 6 runners. Top 2 in the market, nice prices, 4.1 and 4.6. And Spartan Times romped home in this. So that was a winner. So what I've done so far is I've been gathering this information last few days, was keep a running total. Did not qualify, 6, won 6, lost 4. And again, offering advice in the chat and talking about it. And then Stephen posts up every day the results daily from the C1 and the C2 alerts, which you already know from the previous videos. So that's Dutching the portal, and I'll continue to do that. That's probably a good one to follow, I think, to begin with. And when we talk about C2 and C1.1 individually, you've got to understand that C2, we would say reduce your stake to 1/3 of 1 point of your bankroll, simply because they're outside as well. They're mid-range horses, 10 to 20, and the variance on them is a bit wild. You could have 3 wins back to back, which I think we've had, and then have a run of 10, 15 losers. But overall, it's showing very, very good margins if we just sort of zoom in on that. And you can see here, these are monthly records. An incredible October, 148 points, but then we did suffer in April. Now, that could well be put down to it's the transition period between National Hunt and Flat. So we've recorded that, and obviously next April we're going to be thinking, okay, let's see what happens. Let's just, yeah, it could be a misnomer and nothing, you know, but it seems to make a bit of incidental sense that it happens between the National Hunt and Flat crossover. So down the right hand side, each of the days tallies and totals, and a monthly total. So you can see for August we're doing quite well, 23 points. We had a good July, 56.5 points. So it's 1 point of your bankroll or 1%. That's what I stick to. And these are posted every day. Let's have a quick look at C1. Okay, so this is limited to a mile. You can, of course, decide that you might want to do further, but our filters instruct us to say 1 mile only. Obviously, more bets because you're betting with favourites, and a lower profit margin. I think it's about plus 75 or something for the year, whereas C2 is massively up there at 350. But again, you'll be doing more bets here, and of course, lower odds. So that's reflected in the profit and loss. But overall, I mean, if you'd followed every single one of these for a year, you'd be something like 420 points up in profit, just doing those two alone, let alone anything else on the portal. Let's explain this one, because this is a great example. This is a really good example of several horses being punted, which made it a little bit more difficult. So let's take a look at the first one, which is Action Packed, which actually came second. Now, the key takeaway here is to look at the 11 a.m. price, followed by the 1 hour price, and we can see a significant drop in price. So it's been well supported in the morning up to an hour before the race. So that's a signal to look for. The second signal would be across here as we go into that last 15 minutes, half an hour. So that brings me down to, well, we'll keep on Action Pack for the minute. So what happened was it continued to be backed. It drifted ever so slightly 5 minutes out and then was pushed in 3 points. I think it went off about 11.0. So strong support from 19 in the morning. Certainly I backed it, believing that it was smart money. Used to be horse as well. But then we also noticed Ridgemaster, which actually came up as a C2.0, and a huge move here. I can't give you the odds. I find it on Timeform. But whenever you see anything like this, from 11 a.m, it's really been pushed in. And from the 11 a.m. price, its odds at the time were 42% lower. And at 3 minute mark, they were 53% lower. So this horse, and you can see 32s into 15s. See that at the 2 minute mark, 32s, just stayed dormant there. Bang, got hit to 15s. Now, and here's what you can do. You can do place bets. You can get really good offers from Sky Bet. So like plays the first 6 places, and I did one at Ripon, top 5, and it came in. And when you see such high numbers, such tanking, to me that has to be backed. Especially this number here. I mean, 50%. It's been constantly pushed in with high numbers. Now, a third horse, which also came to attention in this race. So you might think, well, I'll just leave this one alone because the favourite won anyway. In fact, there's 4. I just spotted another one. At a race like this, it's obviously there's 4 horses there. I think they've got a chance, and this is a really interesting example. Down here we have Louis Folly as well, who just drifted, and then 50 minutes out, bangs, hammered in. I think he went off 20 to 1. 38 to 20. And a high percentage, again, reading there. And this is what you want to look for. This is a really good telltale sign. Anything, high 30s and above is worth a look and a bet, maybe each way or place. Because that money shows there's keen support for it. This is not just one bet. This is a lot of money coming in the last 2 minutes. So with Louis Folly here, we've also got me and Bobby McGee. Did nothing all day. And then in the last 15-20 minutes, it's got hammered in again. And again, fairly high reading. So this race obviously has 4 possible bets, a lot of bets, so you might be better just leaving it alone, and in the end the all green favourite won, but you would have got money back each way on I think 2 of those in the end. No, none of them. Action Pack, yeah, which would have been my choice actually. Action Pack, being it used to be horse, and knowing that these odds, high odds, it doesn't take much to bring them in. So that's a really good example of what to look for on the portal, and it's hidden But you can see it just by checking here, these prices in the morning and the hour, going over to the odds, checking back, checking this, and you'll start to see a mover. And I think I'll find you one that was buried that I didn't do, called Volta. Let me just call that up for you. So this is Volta. Now what you can see there is a wall of green. So whenever I see something like this, I thought, well, is there a significant mover in the market? And the way to check that is just to go back to look at the morning price and its price now, and then see, kind of scan along and see what it did. Now the difference with Volta here was, we can see, I think that most of these horses had really kind of just come back in a little, or just sort of settled back to their 11 a.m. price. Apart from Jack Daniel, who was a C2 alert, so I just let that go. But what I was looking for here, and I didn't do it, and I was thinking, you know what, I had a feeling about this horse. And when you get that feeling after being familiar with the pattern so long, you kind of just know, because of the movement. And in fact, SP was 12s. So it's critical here in this last minute to have your Betfair page open on the race, have the audio or the video from the race up as well, and because you can hear them going in, going behind. And if you've got a couple of screens as a trader, that's not a problem. Just keep them up and where in front of you, because you see that we stopped recording at 1 minute and it was pushed into 12s from 17s. So if we look at the bigger picture here, 11 a.m, nice support in the morning, didn't do much, got to 10 minutes out, 16.5, and then they started to go for it. So this is identifying a hidden plot job. Once again, it's not easy. I mean, like you could be confused with, we could say, well, look at the support for Jack Daniel, but it didn't feel as strong as this. It just didn't feel as strong. It's kind of what they call instinct after a while. So I didn't do Volta and it hacked up. So, but you'd never spot this on BetAngel graphs or on the Betfair interface. This is telling you a lot here, and these markers aren't high at all. But this jump here from 14.5 into 12s while they're at the post, that's a really good signal. And you might get races that are delayed that have that signal. If a race is delayed, keep your eye on the odds and keep your eyes on the 1 minutes here of any horse you've got singled out. So this is really kind of an advanced version of spotting a potential player in the market. What you don't want to do is get FOMO, and do all these all the time. Just pick your races, be it, and actually sometimes what I'll do, I'll say, if there's any race over 12 runners, I'm going to be really looking for something down in this handicap that's hidden away and being supported because it's a stable job. So another live way to use the portal here, Volta there coming out the winner, 17.5 went off 12s, so fairly good move in the market, beating RC 1.1 and 2 as well. So this one came to light actually after I sort of edited the video, and I just put it into from last night as an additional spot. It was at Lingfield, all weather, and we had a horse that opened up 44s, and he picked up about a minute out at 21, so a quick plunge there. Was backed in the morning, just let it drift, and then started getting hit for 15 minutes. It actually went off at 11.0. It's a huge gamble, and it won comfortably. So always a good idea, as Jack says in chat recently, keep an eye on these trainers who do this, because when you spot a horse of theirs that's being backed, a lot of the time they win. So I just did an each way bet on this. You can see there, Sky Bet unfortunately, but they were offering more places. I mean, I got 8, ridiculous. But I only did that because they were offering 5 places or something, or 4 places. But definitely an each way bet you should do when you see a late plunge like that, especially when it's been that price in the morning. And you might be saying, well, you know what, you didn't get very good odds. Well, we didn't have that information here. We had to wait for it to be confirmed, and it was still a winner. That's the way I view it. I think you should view it too. So really keep your eyes open for these on the all weather, and at the smaller tracks, at the meetings up at Musselburgh and places like that, Hamilton, they go on, and with the portal you can spot them. I mean, this was an obvious one. It's an obvious steamer. It was picked up by the TV, racing TV, but sometimes they're hidden, as you'll see. But this is a perfect example of when you want to be going each way bet on what is a clear steamer. Okay, so I want to show you again another example of the Dutching of the C1s. This one I actually didn't do, even though Dapperguest won. I think Tatty Bogle was second. What we can see here is the two alerted horses, and we've got a drifting favourite. Down here in fourth we have a red square, and the conditions that I have for betting are if there are two green in the top four and the other two have red in, it's the Dutch. Now, the reason I didn't do this one, I went against my own rules, was because down here the fifth horse is green, and just looking at it I thought, you know what, it's not as comfortable as I want it to be, I'm going to skip it. But in the end, Dapperguest won, and so it was recorded as a win because those are the rules. But again, it's up to the individual. If you feel that's a bit too much green for me, I'm not feeling this, don't do it. Wait for the ones that are really, really powerful in terms of what you see in the market. And it's so identifiable because it's just red and green, and grey, as you know, 0 counts as a green as well because it's not a negative. Here another example, again, top four, we've got a green, no bet for that one. So no bet on this one. I want to show you another example of a horse that did tremendous support here, big numbers, and you can see it's drifted and come down. It's what we like to call our mountain effect on the graph, so you can use that as well. They generally tend to do these bets, and I'll do them each way, or just for a place, depending on how I'm feeling and how my day is going. This is what I would call a strong portal bet, where you've got two horses attracting money and the rest are just drifting. And that was, I believe, a winner for Hollydale, if I'm right. I'm thinking I have to check. But anyway, again, visual reference, you see? There's just clearly two horses being supported, so you would go for that. Okay, well, I hope that's given you a bit more insight to the live portal. The only way you're going to really learn is by just sitting there and observing, watching, maybe paper trade the first day you do it, see what your thoughts are, your results. Keep the stakes low, obviously, and enjoy it because it's quite addictive. And when you spot these 25 to 1 gambles and you land them, there's no better feeling than that. Many ways to skin a cat on this portal. You can just choose to do the alerts, like I said, or you can do the Dutching, or you can do a combination of both. Don't forget to do your filters and find a place where you're comfortable with. You might just want to do sprints, for example, and reduce the workload on a day to those that we know tend to land more often. So I'm going to record this evening's racing. I'm not hoping for much, really. It's the day after a bank holiday, probably just rubbish horses out, but it'll be a good reference based on what I've put in this video today, so you can join me back for that later. Now, just before we go racing, I know someone did ask about Betfair Botmanager, so I thought I'd cover that in a little video here. If we look at the bots that I'm running, they're manual bots, they're not automatic. I have to put the bet on myself, but it's much easier to do. And if you notice, and this is thanks to Jack Bickley for building this, it's been a great help in just quickly placing bets at whatever odds and whatever stake that you need. It's just one click. On the left hand side, we've got a group for horses or weather, horses flat turf and horses national hunt, and the 3 zones for what we consider 0 to 10, 10 to 20 and rank outsiders. So if I open one up, it's got a bet history. And also with the staking, you can see that we set a bankroll of 300 and the current bank price 28371. It auto adjusts the staking, the ratcheting here, and this has been a really great bot to use. Now, if you don't have Betfair Botmanager, you can always do something on BetAngel or Trade Betting Toolkit, which is a really good piece of kit. Second to BetAngel, but I think better, and $60 a month, a little bit of a cheaper option. So yeah, so when we come to a race, it's simply, okay, we've looked at the portal and we've seen that horse we want to back, and it's just a case of simply backing the horse by clicking on it there. These are previous races from yesterday, so it's keeping the history, and you can see the type of staking just on a £300 bankroll here, nice and easy, and the two winners that we had that are coming up in the video. So if you want to know more about that, give Jack a shout in chat. If you've got Betfair Botmanager, it will save you a lot of time, and it's a very handy tool, and who knows, one day we might even be able to automate that. Okay, so you join us for the 335 at Ripon. I've been doing zones, so nothing has popped up yet, but I'm looking at this handicap now, 12 runners, which is my maximum. And I'm just kind of skating across, looking at the odds from the morning. There's movement here for Raffles Angel. Keep an eye on that. Yeah, I think it's fairly the same. You come down, this is where I start to pay a bit more attention down here. Looking for late moves inside the 2-1 minute mark. At the moment, it doesn't seem there's much activity. Yeah, that's nothing. It's just a couple of quid could have moved that house. And it's looking like quite a few selections are getting money here. So as I'm betting zones, it's only going to be, it's going to be zone 1, 2 and 3 because it's a sprint. And I'll see what happens. Let's keep it on this Raffles Angel. There's a plunge. You get into the graphs will help you as well, late plunges. So what I always do is I have the race ready to go as well in the last minute or two, just so I can monitor the Betfair odds, which refresh quicker. Call that up on Ripon so I can hear where they are. So here at Ripon, the alerts have popped up to say that there's criteria 1.1s. It's just the one choice. I'm looking at zones here, and I've got 2 in zone 1.
Heading round behind the stalls.
Betfair Botmanager auto betting. And yeah, 9.6 on the drift. It's very borderline to the 10. Woodstock isn't going to shift. There's 2 there now, so that's fine. We're just going with this outsider. Let's take a look at that, because it's had a whack. I mean, it's 75 into 40s is interesting. Do you want to do it to place? Places. Let's you look at the places. Top 3. We go top 3 for Green Man. Let's stick a quid on. I mean, it's already qualified as a zone. I mean, rank outsider, but these numbers are very high, so you've got the feeling it might want to be doing something. And we've got 3 now in zone 1, so I'm not doing the C1.1s today. I'm doing C2s, but I'm ignoring this. I'm just focusing on the zones. So that's it. Go over to Ripon.
Cats Bob in second, the green cap is Woodstock in third, Cardias and the green man running on behind those. Ziggy's Ariel has a chance as well. In front, Mark's Choice is trying to hold on from Cats Bob, and Woodstock is coming strongly. Mark's Choice has just won it again to Woodstock, Cardias and Cats Bob, and behind those was the green man.
Well, that was close. I mean, it looked like he was there to do something. He's finished a length and a half behind a cluster of horses there, so there was something in it. It's a C1.1 winner there, very close. Green Man, I thought he was coming there on the outside. Indicative of you know, a plot maybe, or they've heard something. Wasn't far away, to be fair. But that happens, you know, but you can't ignore this kind of money, and you know, we took the C1.1 winner and we'll move on. All right, back to the 405 at Ripon. 1 mile, zones 1, 2 and 3 active, and 8 runners. Quite a lot of green around at the moment, especially down here. The price between the favourite and the outsider is only 9 points, so it doesn't look like zone 3 will be featuring. Interesting one here, the Mr. Blue Sky, 17, bammed into 12s, bounced out again. They might be coming for him again. See one alerts come in. Yep, and all of a sudden we have a clear favourite. So, according to the zone rules, I'm going to back that. That's my boy Luke. Okay, and everything else gone on the drift. Looks pretty clean cut. And Mr. Blue Sky is heading outwards. Let's join the race and see what happens.
Mr. Blue Sky and Clear Angel and Dumfries behind those. And then Pisanello Extreme Riders running on. But they're heading towards the last furlong. Travis is very, very determined. He won't let That's My Boy Luke past him. Pisanello from the back of the field down the centres coming with a late run. They come towards a line now. It's Travis to That's My Boy Luke and Pisanello. 3 in line.
Oh.
Very close one. The trio are followed in by Dumfries in 4th.
Now, regardless of where we've won or not, and it looks like we have, unbelievably. Wow, that was really close. It didn't look like he was going to get past him. I missed it. It didn't get past him for a minute. But it looks like he's done him on the nod. How they can call that so quickly on the exchange, I don't know. But this is my point now about setting up and trading at 1.15. It looks like he's been giving it. I didn't think he got there, to be quite honest. But that's a good winner, a really good winner. We'll take it. Clear, only all green in the field, zone 1, favourite. And a nice price for us there at 5s. So going down to our staking calculator, going to the tracker, it's been entered. The stake was £3.23 at 5s. And we can now mark that as 1. And that now takes our 2 losses into profit here. I might have set the bankroll incorrectly there according to what's been taken on. Yeah, it's a little bit off from the bot, but that's fine. Just keep an eye on that, make sure your bankroll is corrected each day. Happy with that, we'll move on. Okay, back for the 420 at Musselburgh. Something's caught my eye here. I like the money that's come in for Ripon and Musselburgh. It's been flagged as a C1.1, and also it's the only one all green, so that's going to be a zone bet. It's 7 furlong sprints, the zone 1 qualifies. Good money there. So I'm just going to pop that on. What acre maestro. I like this small money that comes in at, big money that comes in at small tracks. It's so much easier to spot than you'd do if you were at a big race meeting on a Saturday. What acre maestro. Let's see how we go.
And beginning to fan out across the track here. Wadacre Maestro, black cap, our Nicola up the rail. Law-Degree rather barged his way out there, gave a fairly hefty nudge to the nose-banded Melissa Honey. Inside the 2 they come. Wadacre Maestro being challenged by Law-Degree. Then Melissa Honey, our Nicola is backing out of it. Bance is very wide out in the middle of the track, but he's running on under pressure. Inside the furlong, Wadacre Maestro pressured hard by Law-Degree. These 2 fighting out the finish. Wadacre Maestro finding plenty for Joe Fanning. Wadacre Maestro beats Law-Degree. Close for 3rd, are running on Tuscan Point upsides our Nicola, and then Bance.
The power of the portal. The only all green there. C1.1 pick as well. All the money came in for it there. 8.83 minutes, banged into 6s. We picked it up regardless of that by just using the zones, but that's a great result. Just going to fill that one in now here. Just check what price we got there. Just checking the price. 6.6, and we traded out, so pretty good. 6.6, and the winning bucket. And at this point, I'm going to declare myself done for the day. I'm stopping at a profit. No harm in that. It'll allow me to edit this video a bit more together as well. So I hope you've enjoyed that. A look into the portal and the other things that you can do, and of course doing zones, sticking to the C1.1 if you want to do that way with the alerts, and just getting a general feel for what I'm looking for on the portal and how I see things. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to the videos. It really helps me. And hopefully I shall see you in chat very soon.